Hey guys, welcome back to another episode. Today on Arrowvers Recap, I'm going to be talking about all episode 3s. And so, yes, there will be a 31st episode, but it will be on Tuesday of next week. But it's going to be Legends tomorrow, not Flash. And so, here we go. So, this week on the Arrowverse, which is it's called the Arrowverse because the Arrow started it all. And then the Flash, then Supergirl, and Legends. But weird because Arrow's last. And so yeah. And Supergirl's first for some reason. Alright, so anyway, let's get right down to business. So, this episode 3 of Supergirl is called Far From Tree. So, in the last episode, John, or the Martian Manhunter, gets a call from, don't know her name, but he gets a call from a girl, and in this episode, she says, we have a whole resistance of good white Martians, which, if you guys don't know, white Martians are bad. So, we have the good white Martians versus the bad white Martians, which they look exactly alike because they're all white Martians. And so, they ask John to come because he could possibly talk to his father, which only knows the way of the staff. Now, this staff was the most powerful thing to destroy all white Martians, that's what the good Martians want to do, to destroy all the bad ones. But the bad ones wanted to just destroy every single person alive, to fight against each other for this staff thing. And so Supergirl and John go to Mars and they do all this, but then John's father doesn't believe that he's actually there to save his life and do anything. And so, anyway, on the other half of this show, Alex and her wife are getting married, and so they have a whole thing of mischief. And so, there's one common thing between both halves. And this half, they're getting married, and so she doesn't have a father, or she didn't grow up with a father. And neither did Alex, but Alex's wife did not grow up with a father. She grew up with her aunt. And so the reason this is because her father got disappointed in her because she said, I like girls, I'm a lesbian, I am this. And so the father kind of turned that down and said, you disgust me, and drove off and dropped her off at her aunt's house. And so, this whole episode was fathers and saving white Martians that would actually do good and stuff. But at the end of the episode, John, his father, and Kara all come back down to Earth, and so, yeah. And Alex's wife's father and then her have a conversation like, you left me on the side of the road, you do not deserve to be my father anymore. And so they kind of break, that's basically like them breaking up. And so, next we have The Flash. I'm actually getting really good at this stuff now, because hey, my first one was shorter than this one is now, I think. I don't know. The next one is called Flash. Alright, now, the next person, now let's move on to The Flash. This episode is called, the quote is, John, it's from John, this is for my Peabody. That's because the white Martians did some really bad stuff, and so he said, this is for my people, and shoots all the white Martians except for the resistance. Alright, now to The Flash. Luck be ya lady. The threat is Hazard. And so, every time she experiences good luck, her bad luck spreads. And so this episode opens up to the Thinker talking about her 3 weeks ago. And so here's the cool thing. Kilgore and Hazard got their powers from the exact same thing. And here's the crazy thing. Flash remembers. In the first episode, he didn't say he remembered anything. It was like he was reborn. But then in this episode, he remembered everything. And so when he came out of the Speed Force and ran across that train, yeah, you know, if you haven't seen the episode, I suggest you watch the episode because that's the craziest thing ever. And so when he comes out of the Speed Force and runs over top of the bus or around the bus, either way, he brought out some dark matter with him, so everything went onto the bus. And so all the people in that bus got mutant powers. I know, right? That's crazy. Okay. Another thing. Harry Wells comes back to tell Wally that Jessie is breaking up with you. And I'm sorry, but yeah, she's breaking up with you. And also, Harry doesn't believe in luck. Throughout the whole episode, he's saying, I don't believe in luck, you guys aren't cursed, you guys should be cursed at. All that stuff, he doesn't believe in luck, but hey. And so, they're all affected, and Iris and Barry are trying to get married, but then bad luck keeps happening, and so they can't do the things that they want to do because the hazard happened. And so they can't do weddings, they can't do anything, everything has gone wrong, so they have to stop her. So they stop her, but later in the episode, she grows a field, and that field keeps growing, and so a plane falls down, and Joe can't get into his house. Irene fell, I don't know her name, Cecile fell, and Barry is trying to take her down, and she's at a casino, so every single time she wins, the field keeps getting bigger, and so she also activates the particle accelerator again. And so if that thing activates again, that means the whole world's gonna explode, and more people are gonna get more power. And so at the end of the episode, they let it go off, and then that's the thing that stops Hazard is the freaking particle accelerator thing going off again. I wish they could have thought of something better, to be honest. But hey, that's how they stopped it. And then the quote of the day is when Harry says, just a lucky guess. Bam! And then that's when he believes in luck again. And so Harry created a team, Team Jessie, Team Quick, Team Jess, Team Jessie and the Quicksters. And she didn't want him on the team, so Cisco goes like, you can stay on our team, my dumb chap. And then so Harry's back. Stuff. Next, we have Legends of Tomorrow. Next, we have Legends of Tomorrow. And I keep looking over there because, hey, time-wise. And so, this episode is called Zari. And so, Zari is this expert hacker person. She hacks this thing from not noticing her. And so, she's being hunted by Kuwasa. She's being hunted by Kuwasa. And this Kuwasa girl, she basically can control water. And so, if she controls water, she can become a big-ass, awesome superhero. Or villain. And so, she kills anyone that gets in her way. And so, and Argus is a threat because okay, so this time is basically Washington 2042. And in 2021, a metahuman indication or law saying you cannot be a mutant or you cannot be a metahuman. If you're a metahuman, we will lock you up. And so later in the episode, they get Zari on their side. And so Zari says, oh, you guys will help. If I'm going to help you, then you guys are going to help me break my brother out. But that was just the whole story. And so she could just get this totem thing, which gives her air powers. And so she flies away, and then Adam is following on her ass. Tail. But not literally. Just a few inches away. Joke. And also Zari is a big threat because she gets this totem and she flies away and she's just beating up the team. We can't get her because she's just we can't get her. And so this was a code 99, which means an unpinged time travel. So Kawasa has this totem thing that can make her time travel. So there's a lot of totems, there's a lot of something, and Kawasa is there so she can get the totem and basically become an overpowered son of a bitch. And that's basically all I have written down. But there's one thing I want to say. Okay, and then there's on the other side of this whole story thing, Nathan is trying to help Maya get her totem back into working. And so then Zari and Maya are connected in some way because they both have a totem, and if they work together they can use their powers to possibly stop Kuwasa. And so yeah, that's a cool thing because in the last episode, she kind of was gonna almost kill the circus dude. And yeah, and the quote. And she was about to hurt and kill Roy. And so, Ray. And so Roy comes in and says the quote of the week. If anyone's gonna kill Haircut, it's me, lady. And then Ray says, thanks, Roy. And he says, yeah. Next, we have Arrow, which the episode is Next of Kin. Don't know why, but yeah, it's called Next of Kin. The threat in this episode is Onyx and her team of misfits. And so she hacks into Cord Industries or Tech. And so Core Tech kind of has this plan of a gas, or has all this intel about a gas or whatever. And also, Oliver gave the mantle to Diggle. And so Oliver can spend more time with William. And so William brings up a test that he is worried about and he cannot do. And the weird thing is, he's doing quadratic equations. That's what we're doing in my class. And I was going to say the quote of the week was, do you know what quadratic equations are? And I would be like, heck yeah. And so, yeah, all my reminders right there. And so, Diggle. So, they say, when will the people find out that the people are gonna realize that the Green Arrow aren't shooting any arrows? And so, yeah. And so, basically everything bad goes wrong. And so, then at the end of the episode, they get this thing called the Green Monster, which he shoots perfectly with. And then at the end of the episode, he's injecting himself with stuff. And so, but hey, that's like at the end of the episode. So, Felicity, helping William out with his homework so he can study and all that crap. And then at the end of that, he says, she's a pretty cool girl. And then later in the episode, Oliver comes back and says, hey, here's the key to my apartment because he needs a tutor and I need a lover. And then they have sex at the end. Probably. And so, Oxen's plan was to release this gas onto the city and kill everyone. And so Wild Dog and all of them are kind of worried that, oh no, he's a loose cannon. We can't trust him as the Green Arrow. So he tries to get Oliver back. But then he realizes, no, he's good. Trust him and trust no one else. And so he tries to go talk to him and says, brooding, that's not good. And then Diggle says, brooding, that's what you do when you think you made a mistake. And yeah, they kind of have a little conversation. And so, yeah, I think that wraps it up. And of course they stop her with an awesome fight scene, I might add. And so, yeah, that's all for the Arrowverse recap. I know I talked a little bit more about the 3 other than the Arrow because, hey, I'm literally watching it right now. So yeah, alright guys, hope you guys liked this video. If you guys did, please leave a big like down below. And if you guys haven't already, please subscribe. I kind of got got crazy during the Flash and then kind of drained out. So yeah. Peace. Bye.